We're just outside of San Antonio, Texas with Volkswagen driving the refreshed Taos.
Taos in Texas. And away we go. Well,
pretty good. It's got a slight delay, but then it gets up to speed.
The gear changes are important. We're going to tell you about that in just a moment. All right, let's get into it. What's under the hood of this thing?
Gone is the dual clutch transmission for 2025. Volkswagen has gone with an 8-speed automatic transmission for both front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive models. It's powered by a 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with 174 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque. That's up 16 horsepower from the previous model. The torque remains the same. Front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive options are available, and you can use regular fuel for the Taos.
Wasn't that a Led Zeppelin album, The Torque Remains the Same? Right below if you know the answer to that. All right, so a big difference. Gone is the dual clutch, in is the 8-speed, same 8-speed they use in Tiguan, calibrated for this model. So they've changed a lot for this model year. Let's get into the key standard features.
The base trim comes with an 8-inch driver display, an 8-inch touchscreen, wired, Apple Carplay and Android Auto, heated front seats, cloth upholstery, manual front seats with height adjustment, a heated steering wheel, a 4-speaker audio system, and IQ.DRIVE.
So we're just outside San Antonio, and the previous model had the dual clutch. We liked it because we know what it's doing, but for potential buyers, the #1 reason was it was kind of jerky, and now that's gone because they've got a regular torque converter transmission working now.
Yeah, I think that Volkswagen needed to make the move and put in this 8-speed automatic transmission, which was already available with the front-wheel drive model. It was standard, but there were too many complaints, and I have to applaud Volkswagen for listening to those complaints and consumers saying, look, I'm not going to take the Taos because I don't like that dual clutch.
So it's one of those things that if you know what a dual clutch does, you understand why it's making those moves. But for some people, they just can't get their head around it. So you know what? Who did the same thing? Hyundai and Kia also got rid of the dual clutch in the Kona and the Seltos. So this is exactly what the market wants. What I've always loved, you can go back and watch our original video of this, is the fact that Volkswagen gives you a turbocharged engine and a powerful one too as the base motor. For those other two products I just mentioned, it's only their top trims get it. They get expensive. You buy the base model of this, the turbo's included.
Now this subcompact non-luxury segment, none of them have a ton of power. When you look at the specs of this, 174 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque, you might say, does it have enough power? Well, it's the way it's all calibrated. And this does have enough power. Yes, a slight delay when you kick it, but once you get up to speed, it's good, and the cabin doesn't get too loud. We're on some pretty rough Texas roads right now.
They use some kind of grit in the pavement here that is kind of noisy, and we've been on different roads on the highway. You know, the concrete highway, you get a lot of it in Southern California, and then pavement, a really nice smooth asphalt. But yeah, that's just the way it is in Texas. But overall, okay, now we're on good pavement.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Better. So I really like the steering in this. It's not too light. Sometimes you get into this class of vehicle and it's super light. This is well weighted. The brakes feel good. The turning radius is excellent. So if you're doing a lot of city driving, you're gonna find this easy to turn on a dime. Obviously, parallel parking is very good because of the size of the vehicle.
Yes, size is really important with this vehicle, and one of the main selling features is the room on the inside. We're going to get into that in a moment. So what I like about Volkswagens, Audis too, when you pull back on the gear selector, you go from drive to sport. That's all you have to do to go into sport. We're in sport. What else do we need to put it in?
Hey, you got to put it in. Ask for subscribe, and if you can hit that notification bell, you'll be notified when all of our reviews drop, and then you can watch them.
And we do this, the couple car review, twice a week. The first one drops on Wednesday.
We put another one out on Saturday.
So make sure to like and subscribe. Okay, you're in S and subscribe. Hit it, Andrea. Let's go for it. Makes a little noise.
Yeah, makes a little noise when you get up to speed. Passing power on the highway is pretty good. Hey, go on, Zach. We're okay here.
Yeah, you know what? In this class of vehicle, you are going to get more road and engine noise just based on the price point. But it's the fun things that Germans do, Andrea.
Yep.
They drive on the Autobahn, so their cars are designed to go fast, and it's all engineered for that with the brakes. And you know what? I would say back to my point I made earlier, you get the turbo engine as the standard equipment engine, and you don't get that with the competition. So they had this green one and a blue one out on the lawn of the hotel, and I took some video of it, Andrea. I like the green. Would you buy it though? I mean, it's nice to drive for the day. Would you put your hard cash down? Because the blue one kind of spoke to me.
Hey, we got a GTI Palmetto yellow, so yeah, I would buy this green over the blue myself. I think the blue is super pretty, but there's something that speaks to me about this green, and it's so unique.
So the blue one has the black edition, and you get the darker elements in the dark wheels, and that's actually the best seller. A lot of people like that. Black wheels are very popular. It's not always my choice, but obviously the market has spoken and people like black wheels. The nice thing about this is they did quite a big facelift to it, a whole new front bumper, whole new front grille, all new headlamps. LED headlamps are standard equipment, and what did they do at the back?
Well, I just want to add one thing before I get to the back. That black edition model, what you see in the video, that it has black handles, that's only in the US. In Canada, we get body colored. So keep that in mind. I think it actually looks great with body colored
Body
handles.
colored's better. Come to Canada, eh?
I think so. So I think the back looks great. I like that thin tail light design with the light bar. You see many manufacturers moving to that now. I think it looks sharp. I think it's got a really nice bold design, and it is one of the better looking in this class.
And one of the biggest in this class.
And one of the biggest next to the HR-V. Recently we reviewed the new Nissan Kicks, and I said, oh, I really love that kind of rugged looking design. And I would say the same for the Taos. I think it has a nice on-road presence, and I get why it appeals to many people.
So Volkswagen in their design evolution is very evolutionary. They don't do radical changes at Volkswagen. It's incremental change. And the nice thing about that, whether you bought the first gen or you bought the second gen, they're gonna look current in the marketplace for many years.
Standard features in the Taos include LED projector headlamps, black roof rails, available silver, LED tail lamps with an illuminated rear emblem, 17-inch wheels, available 18-inch and 19-inch wheels, and a temporary spare tire. We like to see that in this class of vehicle.
Some nice changes. What's missing in this is a power lift gate.
Yeah.
Now, they told us the architecture of this platform, they weren't able to make it work mechanically. They would have liked to have added it, so it's on the wish list still for Taos.
And guess what? When they did research, consumers say, yeah, they miss a power tailgate in this class.
This video is brought to you by Quad Lock. Now, I'm not sure if you're like me, you probably are. The kind of case you put on your phone, I'm kind of fussy about that. First, it's got to protect your phone, that's the first thing. But it also can't be too bulky in your hand. This Quad Lock fits just right, it feels high quality, and man, can it do a lot of stuff. So this Quad Lock can be used with the original attach and twist design for security to an available mount. Or you can do a mag head attachment, and it's held with the power of magnets. They have so many different ways to secure your phone with window suction mounts, a base suction mount, vent mounts, and all kinds of accessories. Now, I mentioned I'm fussy about my phone case. It has to look and feel good, plus protect. But because we're in and out of so many different vehicles all the time, sometimes you just want to put your phone down on the wireless charger. And even with the Quad Lock case on, you can still get that wireless charging capability. And these are available for Android and Apple phones.
So I'm on my computer and phone all the time, and I really like this idea of putting my phone on a home base so I can read your comments from videos and posts. This keeps my hands free to also watch videos when I'm in the kitchen or doing anything else in the house. If you're going to get a mount for the car, I'd get one for the house too. So make sure you use the promo code Motormouth at checkout for 10% off.
So quite a sizable facelift for this model, new front and rear, and new interior features. Gone are the regular analog switches that they had in the old model. They've gone with this new haptic HVAC control system, and they're doing that because of economies of scale. This is built in the same factory where they do Jetta.
Yeah.
Jetta got this, so they're gonna put it in both.
Do I love it? No.
Yeah.
I prefer knobs and buttons. I don't love the slider. You get a lot of fingerprints on it and dust because it's shiny black plastic. We also have the sliders in our GTI that we have. I just don't love it. It's not my favorite, but this is what they've gone with.
You know what they have gone with, Andrea? Real buttons on the steering wheel. So they are listening there at Volkswagen. People don't like the haptic buttons that you do get on, say, the GTI. And they've gone with the real switches on the steering wheel.
And another thing that they listen to, because we did complain about it in our video that we did for the Taos, is that the standard 6.5-inch touchscreen was way too small. I mean, there's so many manufacturers going with larger screens. So Volkswagen has now moved to an 8-inch touchscreen. Now, I just want to say
something. You mentioned that, so you got that change? Is
yeah,
that what you're saying?
I think so. Yeah. I think it was all me. It was all Drea from Motormouth. The only thing about it is that it comes standard with wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, not wireless, which many brands do have now wireless as standard equipment in these models. But I asked Volkswagen about it, and they said it's actually a slightly different head unit. And you may not notice the difference when you look at it, but it's not capable to have wireless, so they've gone with wired. I said, will you change that? They said maybe.
So I'll tell you something. When it goes up the trims, it goes to wireless. So it's just the base model, you have to plug it in. But you see the big frame around that radio, Andrea?
Yeah.
I think I see the future. Okay, so you think about the size of that frame, and then you look at the new screen that's in the Golf, for example, that they sell in Europe. I see the future. I see another update coming. Maybe in a year or two, maybe that radio will make its way in here.
Now this comes with an available 10.25-inch digital driver display, which looks really great. We have on our test model. The cabin feels open and spacious. Visibility is really good.
And it has a big panel roof, and this is not common in this class.
Right.
And we mentioned earlier, people were disappointed it didn't have a power liftgate, but one of the main reasons why they buy this vehicle is because that is available.
Now, the seats are comfortable. There's plenty of thigh support. You won't find that the seats are short in any way. And another great thing, although it doesn't have an available power passenger seat, it does have a manual height adjustment. And I think that that is super important in this class.
On both seats, and we harp on this with other manufacturers. No height adjustment. Volkswagen gives it to you as standard equipment, so that's great.
And it does have an available power driver's seat, which is really nice. And I love that Volkswagen has a traditional shifter in here, the new Tiguan. They've eliminated it, and there is something about a traditional shifter giving the vehicle just that sportier feel.
All right, so there is shiny hard plastic in here. They're using it mostly for decoration. The worst part of a fence is that HVAC control, because it does show fingerprints and it does give reflection. I would say most of the shiny hard plastic is decorative, like on the dash pad. You don't touch that. And the rest of the materials, like the doors, are a matte black.
Yeah, and I think, you know, when you look at the sides of the door, it's soft touch materials, and that carries on into the rear. Not all manufacturers take those design elements from the front and bring them to the rear. I would have loved to have seen that this decorative piece be all like a shiny gray instead of adding that shiny high gloss black.
Well, they have it in the ID4.
Yeah,
like in Volkswagen, they do use it. The other thing is these seats look really good. I'm going to show you now kind of the base cloth material, and then you look at this top trim that has the two-tone leather. Is it worth spending the extra money? I don't know. I kind of like it, but my Scottish interior wallet says the cloth's just fine.
Now, considering this is a subcompact vehicle, it actually offers some pretty good storage. This, although not huge, is very deep. And the door pockets are quite wide. I've got many water bottles going in here.
See if you can get 4 over there.
Yeah.
Try it. Put it in. There's 3 in there.
4.
Yeah, 4, no problem.
There we go.
4 water bottles.
If you're interested in this class of vehicle and you start doing the research, you'll see that many of these vehicles don't offer all of the features that you would get in the compact class. Things like driver's seat memory, heated rear seats, the power tailgate that we talked about.
Ventilated front seats.
Ventilated front seats. So the Taos has ventilated front seats, but it is missing heated rear seats, the power passenger seat, driver's seat memory,
and a power liftgate.
And a power liftgate. But you get the panoramic sunroof. There is one vehicle in this class that offers it all.
Are you going to say it, Andrea? The S word?
The
Subscribe?
Kia Seltos.
The Seltos. Yeah, but you know what? I talked to the product planner, the head of product planning, and he said, yeah, but you drive that and you drive this. This is more solid, more German.
Well,
that sounds like spin to me, but you got to try it for yourself.
And I think that's the key, is that everybody has different needs and wants. So you need to go through the features. If you prefer great driving dynamics, then the Taos may be for you. If you are really about, I want to get a vehicle that offers as many features and there's good value, then maybe the Taos might be for you.
Whatever floats your boat. Available features include a 6-speaker audio system, keyless access, remote and start, 8-way power driver's seat with lumbar support, ventilated front seats, a panoramic roof, and 10-color LED ambient lighting. Well, here's me getting in the back seat. This is one great thing about this product is it offers a lot of room. The number one reason why people choose Taos is space. You get a lot of legroom, an enormous amount of headroom. How does it stack up?
Comparing the Taos to the Subaru Crosstrek, the Taos has 40.1 inches of front row legroom, which is almost 3 inches smaller than the Crosstrek. Second row legroom is where it shines at 37.9 inches, an inch bigger than the Crosstrek.
No power liftgate, as we mentioned. When you open this up, it's got a useful cargo space underneath. That's where you see standard equipment, standard temporary spare tire.
Cargo space behind the second row at 24.9 cubic feet, and overall cargo space at 60.2 cubic feet is larger than the Crosstrek.
All right, the fuel economy is important for people buying in this class, and more in our vital stats.
Let's start with pricing. We'll do Canada first and then move on to the US. We're using MSRP. The base all-wheel drive model starts at just under $32,000 and the top trim is just under $39,000 Canadian. In the US, the first all-wheel drive model starts at just under $27,000 and the top trim is just over $34,500.
Here's the fuel economy: 9.4 liters per 100 kilometers city, 7.2 on the highway. That's 25 miles per gallon city, 33 miles per gallon highway. The Taos is not rated for towing, and the warranty is 4 years, 80,000 kilometers or 50,000 miles. Lightning round: 2 things we like, 2 things we like to see improved.
I really like the sporty handling dynamics of this Taos.
Some nice updates. The torque converter transmission will appeal to more people.
What I'd love to see is one day a power liftgate added.
And I can see the future. The radio maybe one day will get improved, but this one, it still works. So there it is. It's the Taos from Texas. What do you think of that?
Thanks for watching, and if you like what you see, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.